A variable may be of instance, local or static type, can store only two types of data, that may be primitive or non-primitive. So here I have drawn a table to explain data types. Data type may be of two types, primitive and non-primitive. In case of primitive, there are 8 types of data, that boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float and double. Okay, but if we normally classify a primitive type, then we can classify it as two types, boolean and numeric. Any primitive data type, the type of storing, how it is stored in memory, based on that we can divide into two types, boolean and numeric. Boolean means either true or false. Except this, all other data types are known as numeric type. Numeric type can be again classified into character type, integer type and floating point type. So character type can store letters like A, B, C, D, okay, single character. And integer type can store numbers that may be 1, 2, 3, 350 or 520 or 2000, 10,000, 1 million, 10 million, like this. Okay, and floating point can store float and doubles. So floating point data may be 1.2, 2.5 or long decimal numbers like 2000.50025. Okay, so if we are writing floating point, then we have to add a f, otherwise it will treated as a double. Now we will discuss why we are using 4 types of integer type, why not a single just integer type. To explain this, I will give you a real life example. This is a material and we want to put it in a container. We have 2 types of containers. Okay, so for this material, this number 1 container is sufficient, but we can also put it in number 2 container. Okay, now suppose we have a table like this and we want to put this container or keep this container above this table and this container also. So if we put only number 1 type of container, then we can keep 1, 2, 3, 4, approximately maybe 4 or 5 containers we can keep here. But if we want to keep number 2 type of container, then only 1 container we can put here. Okay, this is the difference. So as our material is of this much of space, so number 1 container is sufficient and we on our table we can put 5 this type of containers with this material. But if we will put this material on number 2 container, then only 1 container with 1 material we can put here. Okay, that's the difference. So for small values we will use byte, for more larger values we will use short, for more larger values we will use int, and for more larger values we will use long. And we will discuss in detail how much space in memory required to store these type of variables on our next class.